What's going on? I live in an S-hole country. America is a mess. We've got more people in prison and more people sick than most other nations. And it's not BS. The virus is real, and there are people that are dying from it. Even if the numbers are inflated by this or that thing, it's definitely a threat that is being realized, but there's no reason to be afraid. You can take precautions and we will survive this. Wash your hands and wear a mask. It's not too much to ask and expect. Of course, the subscriber that asked me to be his friend, whose username right now is Rittenhouse, the guy that killed people in Kenosha, thinks that wearing a mask is ridiculous and thinks that the illness that we're suffering from is inflated and BS. So I'm dealing with that, and I personally think that's mental disease. And it's different than having a mental disorder. So mania and delusions are mental illness and insanity when they lead to really bad outcomes. So eccentricity, when you are just disorganized mentally and you end up being really weird and out there and hard to understand, that's not necessarily mental illness. If you're talking to voices, then your brain is disordered and you're believing that what you're hearing is real, but it's not real. And so some part of your brain interprets what your brain is doing as external voices. That is not a mental illness because it's sane to do that. Your brain does not have to work perfectly all the time. It just doesn't matter. It's when you stop washing or you stop going to work, if you lie in bed all day, if you suffer, that's when mental disorder becomes mental disease. And insane comes from unsanitary. Sane and insane refers to san in Latin, health. And insanity is unhealthy. Actual insanity damages your health and other people's health. And as an American, I am familiar with insanity. It is my country. We are bonkers wild. We are not crazy as in unique and respectable and eccentric. We are insane as in unsanitary, disorderly, dangerously disordered, and dangerous, just dangerous in general. Everybody's got a gun. I don't have a gun. I don't want a gun. I don't want anyone else to have a gun. That's not a ridiculous thought. That's a really sensible, simple, basic human conclusion to come to if you are familiar with the concept of gun. It is insane for somebody to fail to wear a mask during the time of coronavirus. It is not sanitary. Quite literally, it is mental disease to expose yourself to a deadly disease, no matter how many people have died from it. Right now, the thing to do, because of this pandemic, which is real and people are dying from, is to wear a mask. It's not too much to expect. But the other disease that we're suffering from, which is largely Christian, but let's leave that aside, which is kind of right-wing terrorism and the behavior of people like Rittenhouse that goes out into dangerous places and shoots people, that is also mental disease. In America, I consider you sick. Now, I don't think of this as a moral, well, it's a little bit immoral. So I also consider you guilty. I'm ashamed of my country. Who wants to come from America? These are not first world problems. We are a shithole country. Donald just got the wrong nations. We are totally backwards. We have more people in prison than anywhere else. We have more people sick from coronavirus than anywhere else. We have more deaths from it than anywhere else, according to the best science available. But is YouTube a mental disease for me? Because when I get a dislike, I take it personally. Do I suffer? No, it's a first world problem. But yeah, I'm not getting what I want out of YouTube. I want companionship and friendship, and I want to like other people and be liked by other people. I don't want to try to please grumpy strangers that don't care about how I feel. I want to share poogits of truth with other Jankamites and search for a better tomorrow. I want to deal with Poojamal at a deep level and talk about how fine is not how I'm doing. I'm not fine. There are 58 missing of me before I could be fine. I need 58 clones all working on the same topic for me to be fine. Because fine is 59. So what? So it's a special number because it's also a word. And it's a great word. Fine is a mood. And it is specific. It also comes as fine tip markers. It's small and it's exact. Fine is a great word. And 59, by the way, it's prime, isn't it? 3's not going into that. Does Sev go into 59? No, it goes into 49. My point is, sorry, somebody interrupted me. No, my point is I'm not fine. This is not okay. And it sucks that my main activity right now, where I put most of my hopes, is a place where I'm not liked or understood, and where the advantages that I bring to my social culture are neglected and ignored and disapproved of even. Nothing is okay. This is a terrible mess. I'm guilting my mom into reading my book, and she's doing it as if it's a chore, and she doesn't ever want to talk about the book again. My next book, I don't have a contract for. It's just something I'm talking about with my tutor, who, rules. My life is awesome. All I have are first world problems. But America is a third world nation. We are a mess. People are going to be homeless. People are going to be diseased. People are going to shoot with their guns and kill other humans. And there's nothing we can do about it. And for me, in my tiny world, my daughter's in a mental institution and I don't know which one, right? She's in a hospital and her mom has stopped talking to me. So I can't write, I can't call, I can't visit, which I couldn't anyway, not just because of the virus, but because she lives states away. So nothing's fine in my life either. And the things I pay attention to, like dislikes, are so petty as to embarrass me. But I do pay attention to them. Because that means, from my perspective, that even what I'm working on, I'm failing at. So, if you're watching, thanks for watching. sniff some poop with me, but maybe, just maybe, if you're disliking, go away, maybe. Maybe, or stop voting. You're not making things better. You're making me complain. Do you prefer me complaining than inspiring? I want to inspire you with Nigimal. It's a numbering system that I love and that I will do interviews on the street about. Look, that's past my 10-minute marker for this video. But I could talk for another 20 minutes about how I do not want you to vote if you dislike me. I'm too small. I am tiny and soft. How do you dislike this little ferret of a man? And why? So go away, you know? I don't know. That's just how I feel right now. And I record how I feel sometimes. Frix is 46. Frix plus threen is fine.